let's get down to business, as it was with Madison Reedy. Madison, a business confidence survey.
Another one. I know you love these, Lisa.
ANZ.
That's why I brought this to you today.
What's this one show?
This one shows that business confidence has actually remained pretty low in the month of April. So the ANZ Business Outlook survey hasn't actually moved from last month. Now in March it fell 7 points, so it's remained at that low level. So a net 38% of businesses still expect economic conditions to worsen over the next year, and confidence particularly fell further in the retail and residential construction sectors. Now this is because of all of the same reasons that we've heard before. They're worried about the increasing cost of doing business and their supposed inability to be able to pass all of that increased cost onto their customers. Now ANZ's chief economist Sharon Zollner, she says that this sustained low level in business confidence suggests that the economy is going through a bit of a soft patch. Now when you compare this with consumer confidence that we received late last week, that was pretty flat too. That rose just 1 point. But it is worth noting too that the results of this survey, most of the businesses' opinions were submitted before a capital gains tax was canned by the government.
That's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting. So a lot of economists are saying that we may see a bounce in next month's business confidence survey, given that businesses notoriously disliked the idea of a capital gains tax. Maybe now that that's off the table, they might be feeling a bit more optimistic.
Yeah, I look forward to the comparison of those outcomes. Department of Internal Affairs, you say, has issued a company warning. What is that all about? Which company?
This company's called Denton Morrell. It's certainly not a well-known company. It's a sort of trusty consultancy firm. Now, the DIA, the Department of Internal Affairs, regulates anti-money laundering and the Countering of Financing Terrorism Act. Excuse me, today it publicised that it's issued a formal warning to this company called Denton Morrell, and this company has clients all around the world, but it is based in Auckland. Now, the DIA is basically calling it out for failing to do due diligence on its customers, which it's required to do under this anti-money laundering legislation. It also says it hasn't been monitoring its clients' accounts or international transactions. Now, the DIA did an on-site physical visit to this company, and it found inconsistencies in some of its customers' wealth records and its sources of funds. So the DIA has told this company to rectify these issues immediately and implement an anti-money laundering program into its business. The DIA, we should note, is in the process of checking up on firms. So obviously anti-money laundering laws have been around for a while. Financial institutions like banks and also casinos have been party to this legislation for a while. But only in July last year were lawyers, accountants and real estate agents brought under this law too. So now the DIA is checking up on them. It says it's checked up on about 60 of them. And when I asked them last week how they felt about what they've seen in terms of compliance so far, they didn't necessarily tell me how they felt or if they were pleased, but they did stress the importance of compliance. And we should note too that dealers of high-value goods and the New Zealand Racing Board come under the law next, so they're due to fall under the law in August.
So is this the first one that we're aware of the 60 that they have audited or checked up on, that has got a ticking off?
Yeah, this is the first formal complaint that's been publicised. We don't know if the DIA has actually issued other formal complaints in the background that they just haven't told us about. So this is the first one that they've publicised. So obviously they were quite ticked off about this one in particular. But there have been a couple of prosecutions led by the DIA in courts that we've seen over recent years.
OK, what's been going on the markets today?
The NZX Top 50 Index rose just 1 point tonight to close at 10,013 points. The New Zealand dollar is buying at 66.6 US cents, 94.6 to the Australian and 51.5 British pence.
Thanks, Madison.